John Wayne's darkest secrets were kept in a Newport Beach home for many years. His house was locked up right away after he died in 1979. For more than 30 years every picture, letter and personal item was put away. When they finally opened the doors in 2011, what they saw inside shocked everyone. This is the true story of what happened to the Duke's money, from movie props that broke records to a shocking will that split his family up. John Wayne was born in Winterset, Iowa, on May 26, 1907. His full name was Marion Robert Morrison. He was 13 pounds when he was born, which was so strange that the local paper wrote about it. He seemed meant to be bigger than life from the start. He almost died when he fell into an icy creek when he was only 3 years old. His strength was shown when a stranger walking by saved him. That was the kind of strength he would always have. Early on he changed his name. They chose the name Robert for their second son when they had him. Marion's given name was changed to Mitchell. This change may not seem very important, but it was a sign of bigger changes to come. Because his dad's business failed in 1914, the family moved to Glendale, California. Marion was known as Duke in Glendale because of his Airedale Terrier, who was also named Duke, because they were always together. Firemen in the area started calling them Big Duke and Little Duke. The name stuck because Marion liked it. Marion loved football as a child. He was able to go to the University of Southern California on a sports scholarship in 1925. He was a member of the Sigma Chi Club and studied to be a lawyer, but his dreams of playing football were dashed when he hurt his shoulder body surfing. It was terrible to lose the grant. He thought that his plans were over, but this accident led him to the road that made him famous. Marion got a job at Fox Studios in 1927. After his football career was over, he was a prop man and made $35 a week. Not very exciting, but it got him a foot in the door. In the 1926 movie Brown of Harvard, he played football but wasn't recognized as an actor. That was his first time on screen. He became friends with director John Ford during this time. Ford liked him and told him what to do. He even suggested that he change his name to something stronger. After giving it some thought, they picked John Wayne, whose name would become famous. Wayne had a hard start as an actor. He was in more than 80 low-budget westerns between 1930 and 1939. Sometimes the whole movie was shot in just 2 days. He barely had enough money to live on, and an often only one meal a day hot plate of beans from a can. By 1938, he was so down on himself because he wasn't having any luck that he thought about giving up acting for good. It was all different when Stagecoach came out in 1939. The movie was huge, but it wasn't easy to find Wayne to play the lead role. The company wanted a famous actor like Gary Cooper, but John Ford insisted on getting Wayne. They even said they would quit the project if they didn't agree. Wayne played the Ringo Kid in the movie. The Ringo Kid was a bad guy with a strong sense of right and wrong. The scene where the camera zoomed in on his face while he held a gun became famous. Wayne was so scared that it took 27 tries to get it right, even though it was short. Stagecoach was a big hit. It was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 2. The way Wayne performed made him a star right away. He was paid only $3,700, which is a lot less than big-name stars, even though the movie did well. It did change his life though. After that, everyone thought Wayne was the best Western hero ever. He turned down parts in movies like High Noon and The Maltese Falcon, because he didn't want to change how people saw him. Because of this choice, he became a symbol of toughness and manhood in America. John Wayne and John Ford made 14 movies together that changed Hollywood for more than 50 years. Ford hired Wayne as an extra in a movie called Mother Machree in 1928, which was the start of their union. But Stagecoach in 1939 was the real start of their renown. Wayne became famous after this movie. They had a tough time getting along at work. Ford was hard on players, and Wayne was often the one who got in trouble. In 1956, Ford made Wayne do a simple scene where he picked up a gun 17 times in front of everyone on the set of The Searchers. It was embarrassing for him. Wayne never said anything bad though. He thought that Ford's tough style helped him do his best work. The Searchers wasn't even nominated for an Oscar when it came out, but now it's seen as one of the best movies ever. Donovan's Reef, their last movie together, almost didn't happen in 1963. Wayne wasn't sure if he should play the part because he thought he was too old. Aside from being sick, Ford was also an alcoholic, but Wayne persuaded him to direct. The movie was filmed in Hawaii, but it was too hot to stand. It gets as hot as 100 degrees Fahrenheit at times. At one point, Ford got shingles so bad that he had to direct some shots while lying on a stretcher. Even with these problems, the movie was finished and did pretty well. This movie, which was less serious than their westerns, was more of a comedy. It showed that they could still work in different ways even when they were nearing the end of their careers. The movie Sands of Iwo Jima, which came out in 1949, got Wayne his first Oscar nod. A tough Marine named Sergeant John Stryker was played by him. Wayne didn't want the part at first because he thought it was too much like other roles he had played. In order to get Wayne to agree, Herbert Yates, president of Republic Pictures, had to personally give him $250,000 and a cut of the profits, which was a huge amount of money at the time. It was hard to make the movie. They used real flamethrowers and bombs in the fight scenes because director Alan Duane wanted them to feel real. In one blast, this hurt people on the set and knocked Wayne out for 30 minutes. The movie wasn't made for 2 days. Thanks to the U.S. Marine Corps, the movie also had real footage from the Battle of Iwo Jima. They let the directors use rare combat footage that blended so well with the fake scenes that a lot of people thought the whole thing was real. The original flag from the fight was used to raise the flag on Mount Suribachi in a famous scene. 3 of the Marines who were still alive when they raised that flag were even in the movie. Even though the movie was a hit, and Wayne gave a great performance, Broderick Crawford won the Oscar for All the King's Men. Wayne had turned down the lead part in that movie because he thought it wasn't American, which is funny. He was sad about losing, and it would be another 11 years before he was named again. In 1960, Wayne's dream movie, The Alamo, was one of the most dangerous movies he ever made. He had been wanting to make the movie for more than 15 years, and had to borrow money to pay for it by mortgaging his house, cars, and even his boat. At the time, $12 million was a huge amount of money for a movie. Wayne demanded that a full-size copy of The Alamo be built in Texas. It took 2 years and more than 1.5 million adobe bricks to finish. Down to the smallest details, like nails from the 1830s, everything was true to history. People came to see the set, and it stayed open until 2009. It took a huge amount of work to film The Alamo. It rained every day for 79 days, and got as hot as 110 degrees Fahrenheit. They used over 7,000 extras, and 1,500 horses. Some things went wrong too. With 26 stitches, an extra was hurt with a sword in one scene. Wayne wouldn't cut costs, no matter how hard it was. When the movie came out, there was a big party with fireworks and a parade. The movie got 7 Oscar nods, but didn't win any. Critics were mixed, and it didn't make enough money at the box office to cover its huge costs. Wayne was very upset that he wasn't even nominated for Best Director. Still, the movie changed the way people remember the story of The Alamo for a long time. Wayne finally won an Oscar for True Grit in 1970. He played U.S. Marshal Rooster Cogburn, who only had one eye. Wayne almost didn't take the part because he thought he was too old, and was still healing from surgery for lung cancer. But after reading the book, he understood that it might be the part he plays for the rest of his life. It wasn't easy to film. It took place in Colorado, which was very cold and high up, which made Wayne's health worse. In between scenes, he had to use a gas tank. At a dangerous time, his horse stumbled on a steep hill, and almost knocked him off. It hurt Wayne's shoulder, but he kept going. Wayne put on weight and wore an eye patch that made it hard for him to see to play Rooster Cogburn. He had to remember the sets so that he wouldn't trip over them. People loved his show because it was different from anything he'd done before. The movie made over $31 million, and was one of his biggest hits ever. As Wayne received his award at the Oscars, he said, "If I'd known this 35 years ago, I'd have put that patch on." He was sick that night, but he wouldn't miss the event. Some people believed Wayne's Oscar was more for his long career than for the part itself. Later, Wayne himself said it felt like a career award. Still, Rooster Cogburn became one of his most famous roles, and the movie's success sealed his status as one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. There were ups and downs in John Wayne's love life. He was married 3 times in almost 50 years. Josephine Sands was his first wife. They got married in 1933. Wayne's career was just getting going at that point. They had 4 kids together, but Wayne spent a lot of time away from home because he was becoming more famous. When he began an affair with actress Marlene Dietrich in 1938, things got even worse. Wayne worked hard to fix his marriage. In 1943, he took Josephine to Mexico to spend time with him. It didn't work though. In the end, they got a divorce in 1945. When he married Esperanza Bauer for the second time in 1946, things went badly. Esperanza, a Mexican actor who used to work, was very envious. As they worked together on Angel and the Badman in 1947, she thought Wayne was seeing Gail Russell, one of his co-stars. One night, Wayne coming home late from a party made her so angry that she lost it. She got so drunk and mad at him that she pulled out a gun and tried to shoot him as he walked in the door. No one got hurt, thank goodness. After that though, their marriage didn't last long. In 1954, they got a divorce. Wayne married Pilar Pallet for the third time in 1954. They were married until he died in 1979. For a while things seemed better because they had 3 kids together. But Wayne and Pilar broke up in 1973. Wayne then moved in with his maid, Hi Pat and Stacy. Wayne and Pilar never really got divorced, even though they lived apart. It was known in Hollywood that Wayne was seeing Marlene Dietrich. It began in 1938, while 7 Sinners was being filmed, and went on for almost 10 years. Even though Wayne was married to Josephine at the time, he went to Dietrich's house at night. Both of them cared deeply about each other. In the letters they sent each other, they were honest about how they felt. In fact, Dietrich used her power to help Wayne's success. She worked hard to get him major parts in movies like The Spoilers and Pittsburgh in 1942. Even though they broke up in 1947, they stayed close friends for the rest of their lives. She called Wayne the love of her life a lot. Maureen O'Hara was one of Wayne's most talked about friends. Beginning with Rio Grande in 1950, they were in 5 movies together. In 1952, The Quiet Man was their most well-known movie. A lot of fans thought they were a real couple because of how well they got along. O'Hara even made a joke about an old woman who saw her and thought she was Wayne's wife.